International community's inability to prevent and resolve conflict is at the root of the estimated 17,000 migrants and refugees currently being held in detention centers in Libya. That was the view of the High Commissioner for Refugees in a briefing to the United Nations Security Council that convened an urgent session to address questions of modern-day slavery and human trafficking following news reports last week of African migrants being sold in slave markets in Libya for as little as $400 each. Council members have expressed their outrage, with several calling for a collective statement condemning the practice.
Pictures that have shocked the conscience of the international community as the Council springs into action as outrage grows at these images of black people in chains and some sold as slaves.
Compelled to flee, but without legal pathways to safety, refugees are exposed to appalling harm together with migrants, including torture, rape, sexual exploitation, slavery and other forms of forced labor. These proliferate where governance is weak and transnational criminal networks take root.
Libya has become a major transit hub for migrants and refugees, mainly from sub-Saharan Africa, who are trying to reach Europe by any means possible. They often use illegal trafficking networks that promise to smuggle them onto ships that cross the Mediterranean. But with increased security along the high seas and the European migration agreements curbing these crossings, these desperate souls find themselves stuck in a country that has itself not known peace since the ouster of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The International Organization for Migration says it's ready to empty the detention centers in Libya.
I think, frankly, that all of the elements are there now. We've had good discussions with the African Union President, with the High Representative of the European Union. Everybody seems to agree that it can be done. What we plan to do and hope to do, IOM together with our traditional partner UNHCR, is to try to empty the detention centers. There are about 15,000 people still in them. These are the government-controlled ones, about 30 of them. We don't know how many of the militia groups have centers. We know they do. But let's focus on the government effort now, because we will need Libya's help.
Council members are expected to release a formal statement later and have not ruled out the imposition of sanctions.
The video clips circulating around the social media and the harrowing stories of some of the African refugees and migrants who describe their suffering and pain in the detention camps at the hands of human traffickers and smugglers has sent shockwaves across the continent and beyond. This inhumane and despicable act is not only unacceptable, but it has no place in the 21st century.
Cela passe, je vais y revenir dans un instant.
This hinges on greater cooperation with the Libyan authorities. This also hinges on an intractable fight against impunity, including through the International Criminal Court and through the imposition of sanctions against all individuals and entities who contribute to these heinous acts.
The UN-recognized government in Libya has promised to bring the perpetrators of these crimes to justice. Bryce-Pease, SABC News,